Okay, class. This is a very quick overview of some of the tricks or things that you can do when you are working the week 6 course project. So this is the data. I already opened it up in Excel. You guys should know how to do this, so I'm not gonna go over that. The first thing you need to do is you need to do some calculations. There are some examples that I already provided about how to get the discount amount, the net revenue, and things like that. But for the sake of this example, I'm just gonna do one. And what I do is, first of all, I have this data here, and I just click on Insert, and I'm gonna do a simple gross revenue, which is very simple math. It's just basically the unit price, $35 with 80 cents, times 5, which is the quantity for this. So I just put a gross revenue, and then I do the calculation. As I said, just this times this, and hit enter. Okay, and then again, I just don't want to do the same for every single cell, so all I'm going to do is just click on this corner, and it should go in here. As you can see, some cells are having these symbols. That's because you need just to expand it, and then you see that. Okay, so you need to do more calculations for be able to create more analysis, but this is just one of the examples. Very simple example. Next, what I recommend doing is actually recommend duplicating this. So just make a right click on this, make copy, create copy, move to the end, click OK. Just make either double click on it or make right click and click on rename, rename. And here I'm going to call it a subtotal. And I'm going to show you the next step. So having the data as is impossible to just do some analysis. Having sorting or filtering is not really recommended. You need to consolidate the data, have it into one section as it needs to be consolidated, have it into one consolidated format so you can actually make an analysis. That's when pivot tables, pivot charts, and subtotals are essential. So I'm going to show you subtotals. Again, the first thing you need to think about is what kind of subtotal you're going to do. That's the first thing you need to question. So in this case, I'm actually going to do a subtotal that shows me the gross revenue by country. Okay, so what I need to do is I need to sort by country. If I don't sort by country, what is going to happen is that I'm going to have subtotals for this right here, for this one here, and for this one here, and whatever I have. So it doesn't really put everything together. So click on country, and then just go to data tab, and then you can click on sort. Okay. One thing I highly recommend is always just put the filter on the tab. It makes things a lot easier. Then just click on this one here. Okay, now I have everything sorted by country. That's very important. And next, I just go and I just go and actually press Control A. That's what I did. Just again, if I'm here, just press Control A and highlights everything that is around that data. And as you can see, highlighted everything. Just a quick tip. You don't have to scroll down and select everything. Bottom line, you need to select all the data. Okay, next we go into the Data tab and then click on Subtotal. And then here we have to select what we want to subtotal for. So what the category we want to do is we set country. Again, before you start working on anything, you need to define what you want to do. So country, what I want is the sum of the gross income, not the discount level. So I'm going to click on this one and say gross revenue. I'm sorry, that's what I meant. And I hit OK. Okay, so it expands this and you will see these numbers. If you click, let's say, number 2, it's going to give you now a really nice subtotal of this thing. This is a very quick, easy way to do this. Right here, you can just do an analysis. In fact, if you want to create a nice chart, all you have to do is highlight this data. Make sure you highlight this. Okay, we don't need the grand total. That's not how we do things. Then press the Control key on your keyboard and highlight this right here. Okay, and then I can go click on Insert. I actually recommend using the recommended charts feature, which usually is available in 2013 and so forth. And it gives you some different options. This one, like the column, is one of the best for this kind of information. You can see right here. And obviously this will not be that helpful, but this kind of the cluster one would be good. So I just hit OK, and I have a nice chart. Sorry. Now I have a really nice chart that I represents my data for my analysis, and I can easily see that Germany and US are the highest, and then I can make an analysis about the lowest, and you can see like Poland and Norway are the lowest, as well as Argentina. So very quick way to do this. Now I'm gonna go and do another one. So again, I just go, I make copy of this thing, click create a copy, move it to the end, makes it life easier. Make right click on it and rename, or just double click on it. What I'm gonna do right now is actually a pivot table. Okay, and I hit enter. Well, sometimes you actually don't, for pivot tables you don't need to do this, but just for the sake of the example, I'm gonna add a new tab. But you guys will see that what I mean by this actually creates its own tab. So I'm gonna Control A, highlight everything. Again, I go to data, and then I go to the pivot table. Sorry, I go to insert tab on the top, and then pivot table. I asked me if I want to do an existing or new worksheet. Please do a new worksheet. It makes it a lot easier, better. So hit OK. It creates a new one. We will rename these later as we need to. And now we need to ask ourselves what we want to do. And let's say I want to know now the sales people. I want to know which of the people have the highest sales, the most revenue. And that's when you start building things. So you need to think about what you want, and the left side and the top and in the middle. So in the middle, I want the revenue. I want to see what is in there. So let's go and grab the revenue. I click on this little guy, drag it, and put in the values. Okay. Now, don't worry, we're gonna get there. It says sum of gross revenue. That's perfect. Sometimes it does not tell you sum right away. So let's say I go to quantity. It keeps saying sum right now, but usually it actually says count. So the way you change that is you click on it, click on value field settings, and then you select what you want. You want to count or you want to sum. In this case, we are doing the gross revenue, and what I want is sum. Now, in this case, I don't want the quantity. This is an example, so I'm just going to click on it, click on remove field. Okay, next, I want to know the countries, and I want to know the salespeople. Now it's up to you. It looks like we have more salespeople than countries. So what I'm gonna do is actually gonna put the salespeople on the top, and what I'm doing at this point is I'm just gonna put the last name. I want to make my life easier. So you see, we have all the people. So at this point, even right now, you could just make some analysis saying, who has the highest sales. But we want to make this a little more more fun. So what we're gonna do is by country. We want to know by country. Oh, now we're talking. So I'm gonna click outside here, and now you can see that we have the country, and we have the salespeople, and we have the gross revenue. Okay. Now this is a bunch of numbers. It doesn't look really good. So what you need to do is you need to do some formatting. Very simple. Just highlight the data where it is. May right click on it. Click where it says value field settings. Then go to where it says number format. Let me just try to move this. I don't know why it got bigger. Number format. And then obviously what we want is actual currency, because this is actual money. So selecting that one, and then I hit OK. Then I hit OK. And now I can just click here, so this goes away, or I can just close here. And now we have more, it's more presentable, the data that we have in here, and we see all this information in here. So we have created another analysis, and I'm gonna call this one, sales people, analysis by country. Okay. And again, from this information, you could also create a chart if you wanted to. okay, and make that information available via chart. Bottom line, I just gave you two of the different ways to do this, and I even gave you the chart. So what you could easily do is you could replicate a subtotal by something else. And now let's actually do one more for the sake of the example here. I'm going to duplicate this one again, put it to the end, create a copy, and I'm going to put this one, I think it's category, yes. I'm going to do some subtotal by category. Okay? And I'm going to actually see the quantity. I want to know the quantity. So that's kind of what we're going to see how we do this one. First thing, as I mentioned before, I usually recommend just going to data and then filter, just to do that. Then you need to sort. You can either come here and then sort A to C, or the way you want it to. I'm just going to click A to C, or I can just go and click on this one over here. And oh, I just realized you guys don't see it on the screen. So just click on A to C and sort by the category right here. There you go. So I see beverages, they're all together. And then after this should be something else. Let me just, there you go. So we have that stuff because that's what I need, is by category. Next one, highlight all the data. How we do that? It's Control A. Okay, so we have Control A, we highlighted everything. Now we go to subtotal. Then in subtotal, the category that I want is actually category name, so it's already selected for me. And I want the sum. I want to know the quantity, so it's going to sum the quantity. I'm not counting, I'm just summing that. And what I want is actually the quantity. So I just want to know how much of that is being sold. This is again just an example of that. Okay, and then just hit OK. It creates this kind of bars in here. If you click on number 2, it basically consolidates that for you. So it tells you the quantity. Now, if you guys actually would want to do an analysis about the revenue by categories, that's perfectly fine. You can have that analysis via categories and countries, and that's fine. Now, one, you may want to present it via a subtotal and then one via a chart. So let's actually do that one. And I'm going to show you how to fix this, for example, between quotes. Again, I just go and press Control A. So it highlights everything. Then I go and click on subtotal. You guys see this one says replace current subtotal. That means because I can actually do some other stuff. So I'm going to click on this quantity and I actually want revenue. I click on 2 again. And I have a really nice category by this. So if I want to create a chart, all I do is highlight the information I want, Control key, and you highlight that. Then we go to insert. We can click on recommended charts, all charts, and let's see. These, let's say, just to change it a little bit, we're using this other chart, and we just hit OK. And now we have a really nice chart that shows our totals, and we can easily see that dairy products and beverages are the best. And then you can make an analysis about that. I hope this is helpful. As you guys can see, I created basically all 3 analyses in less than 30 minutes. And at this point, all you have to do is write a Word document. I hope this helps you, and I recommend you guys kind of look at to how you can spice it up a little bit more, use different information, and think about all the information you guys have. Just to finish up, each of these rows are basically a way for you to create information. For example, you may want to see how you consolidate by month, so you can see the gross revenue by month. And then a chart of a trend line would be best, you see. We already talked about categories, but you may want to actually do a subtotal with another subtotal. Let me actually show you that really quick. Let me delete this one. Press Ctrl A. If I want to do a subtotal by category, all I have to do is I'll just go and click on the Data tab, click on Subtotal. Make sure you uncheck Replace because we're not replacing, we're adding another one. And then let's go and see that we want these actually by product. And then we hit OK. So now we have a third level, and you guys